Welcome to our little video show. This time we'll do a little video about soundproofing because we are tasked with an interesting project, soundproofing this existing party wall, which is supposed to be double staggered, but we still have a lot of sound coming from the other side, which is neighboring house. So we have our job today is to make this soundproof or improve the soundproofing of the wall as much as we can. So we'll not go with any technicalities and details. You can find it on internet, but we'll walk you step by step how we are going to soundproof this wall. We are using part of the line of products. We are using the green glue, but we also have resilient channels. We also have soundproof drywall. So we are actually changing the insulation in the wall, and we are doing the most what we could actually engineer for this particular situation. So let's call this an ultimate soundproofing project of the party wall. So stay tuned. We are a little further along with our project, having the drywall and insulation all out, and of course it was used that thermal insulation as a soundproofing insulation in the party wall. And this is the party wall with the actually fire separation layer here, and then there's a fiery drywall on both sides. So this actually is a neighbor's wall, and so we are changing insulation for safe and sound, which is fireproof and soundproof insulation beds. And as you see, this stud has a more shape of a propeller blade, so we are going to replace that. Here's the separation of it's actually two independent walls, which is a little better situation than we were hoping for. So we'll get safe and sound insulation in resilient channels and continue the show. So we are a few steps further with our progress. We changed the wall insulation for safe and sound on both levels, which takes care of the surface of the wall. But another important thing is the local penetrations. So we changed the electrical boxes for full plastic ones with the foam seal and with full sealed bag, so there's no holes in our assembly. And we have the resilient channels all up, and we have first layer of drywall, and you see we are starting with a little piece on top because the second layer have to overlap the way that there are no seams on one line. So when the next sheet goes up, the main seam will be in this height, so there will be a full backing, so there will be no possibility of the air transfer. And the principle of the resilient channel is that it's a flexible attachment of the drywall. Drywall is not hard on studs. There is actually air gap here, you can see, and the resilient channel is attached to the studs, but it's flexible so it can move. So there's no direct transfer from the studs to the surface of the wall. And if you can actually see, we are marking up where all the studs are, because if you put a screw through the resilient channel right to the stud, then you just diminish that flexibility because you screw it hard right on. So we are tracking where exactly the framing is on the wall whenever we put up a piece. So we put screws only in the channel, and there's no attachment to the studs at all. So this is the first layer. It's actually 1/2 inch fire rated drywall, so it's much more denser than the regular standard or ultralight one. So it helps deadening the sound transmission. And the reason we are calling this ultimate soundproofing solution, because we go all 9 yards all the way in. The second layer actually is not another layer for regular drywall, but we are going in with the Silent FX. If you look on the side, it's actually 2 1/4-inch sheets of drywall with pretty much the principle is the green glue is in between the sheets. So what we are doing, we are having 2 layers of green glue on one wall on a 1-inch assembly. So we are tripling the sound deadening effect of the drywall. So we are with 1 inch, but 2 layers of principle of green glue. So a little bit of a sound deadening delamination between the sheets. So we'll have 2 layers of green glue on 3 sheets of drywall on a 1-inch full thickness of that. So this is the ultimate solution for the wall sound insulation. Get a nice soundproof insulation, get resilient channels, and then go all the way in. So this is almost sound studio grade solution for the wall assembly. First layer of the drywall is all the way on. We stagger the seams, so when the next layer goes on, no seams will be in line. And we went around with this green glue sealant and filled all the seams and gaps and the perimeter around the wall before the green glue goes on this sheet. And as we said, this is that Silent FX, it's a soundproofing drywall, so we go really high performance on this wall.